Well, dear students, you have gone through the previous video on theory of income and employment, where we discussed the concept of aggregate demand, and I had explained the first component of aggregate demand, that is household consumption demand. Hopefully you have understood, liked the same, and you have subscribed and shared with your friends. Now today we will be discussing the second component of aggregate demand, that is investment demand. So investment refers to that part of aggregate output which takes the form of new machinery, new equipments and plant, residential and non-residential constructions, including additions made to the stock of inventory. So here you must remember that investment refers to the additions that are made to the stock of capital goods and the stock of inventory. The stock of capital goods here means the additions which are made to the stock of new machinery, new equipments and plants, residential buildings, etc. Now it also includes the stock of inventory, that is the raw materials, semi-finished goods and finished goods. So here we find that इन्वेस्टमेंट का अभिप्राय यहाँ पे क्या है कि ये एग्रीगेट आउटपुट का वह हिस्सा है जो नए मशीन्स, नए इक्विपमेंट्स या प्लांट्स या रेजिडेंशियल या नॉन रेजिडेंशियल बिल्डिंग्स पर लगाया जाता है, और साथ ही साथ इन्वेंट्री यानी स्टॉक ऑफ रॉ मटेरियल्स, सेमी फिनिश्ड गुड्स एंड फिनिश्ड गुड्स, इसमें जो बढ़ोतरी होती है उसको हम इसके अंदर इंक्लूड करते हैं. नाउ इन्वेस्टमेंट इज क्लासिफाइड इनटू प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड पब्लिक इन्वेस्टमेंट्स. प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टमेंट्स आर अंडरटेकन बाय द प्राइवेट एंटरप्रेन्योर्स with a motive of profit. That means the basic motive of the private entrepreneurs is to make profit. So here investments is made with the motive of making profit. So it includes what? The investments that are made on machinery, equipments, etc. Whereas public investments are undertaken by the government for promoting or for fostering public welfare. यानी सरकार के द्वारा जो खर्च हमारे समाज में पब्लिक वेलफेयर को लाने के लिए किया जाता है, लाइक कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ रोड्स, डैम्स, ब्रिजेस, पब्लिक पार्क, स्ट्रीट लाइटिंग, promotion of education, these all activities come under the concept of public investment. Now again, we are concerned with private investments here because Lord J.M. Keynes in his analysis assumes that the economy is a closed economy with no government intervention. That means the government does not participate into the economic activities of the country. Therefore, we will concentrate on the concept of private investment. Now, private investment is classified into induced investment and autonomous investment. So, induced investment means what? When investments in an economy changes with the change in the level of income, it is called induced investment. यानी जब इन्वेस्टमेंट्स इनकम में परिवर्तन होने पर परिवर्तित होता है, उसे हम लोग क्या कहते हैं? इंड्यूस्ड इन्वेस्टमेंट. तो यानी हम लोग कह सकते हैं कि इंड्यूस्ड इन्वेस्टमेंट इज अ फंक्शन ऑफ इनकम बिकॉज एज इनकम इंक्रीजेस इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑल्सो इंक्रीजेस. Now here you must remember that when there is an increase in income, consumption expenditure also increases. And this induces the producers to produce more, and as a result, investment increases. So what we can conclude here, that here investment varies because of the increase in the level of income. Here in the given diagram, we find that at zero level of income, the minimum expenditure which is incurred on investment is OI. Now when the income increases from O to OY, investments in the economy increases to AY. Then again when income increases to OY1, investments increases to BY1. So here investment increases on account of increase in income. तो यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या देख रहे हैं कि induced investment curve जो है it will be upward sloping to the right, और जहां तक हम देखते हैं यहाँ पे कि जब इनकम जीरो है, इस लेवल ऑफ इनकम पे इन्वेस्टमेंट OI है, और जैसे जैसे इनकम OY से OY1 की ओर बढ़ रहा है, इन्वेस्टमेंट AY से BY1 इस तरह से बढ़ रहा है। अब हम लोग डिस्कस करते हैं व्हाट इज ऑटोनोमस इन्वेस्टमेंट। When the investments in an economy do not vary with the changes in the level of income, it is called autonomous investment. यानी जब इनकम में परिवर्तन होने पर इन्वेस्टमेंट उसके द्वारा किसी भी प्रकार प्रभावित नहीं होता है, तब उसको हम क्या कहते हैं, ऑटोनोमस इन्वेस्टमेंट। So, what is I? We can write here that I is not a function of income. That means any change in income will not affect the investments in an economy. But you should remember that investments may vary on account of changes in other factors. Say, discovery of a new market or discovery of new resources, growth of population, etc. तो यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या देख रहे हैं कि अन्य फैक्टर्स के द्वारा यहाँ पे इन्वेस्टमेंट्स प्रभावित होता है, यानी यहाँ पे इनकम के द्वारा इन्वेस्टमेंट्स प्रभावित नहीं होता है। So in this case, the investment curve will be parallel to x-axis, which means that any change in the level of income will in no way affect the investments in the economy. Now, what we find that Keynes in his analysis has assumed that the investments in the economy is autonomous, that is fixed. We can say that it does not vary with the changes in the level of income. So, the next point which we are going to discuss is the government demand for goods and services. You must remember that here, in order to determine the national income, Keynes have assumed that the government does not participate in the economic activities of the country. And secondly, the net exports are also taken to be nil, as he assumes that the economy is a closed economy. So, the government expenditure and net exports are taken to be nil. So, aggregate demand will constitute of consumption expenditure denoted by C and investment expenditure denoted by I. So, aggregate demand is the sum of consumption expenditure denoted by C, I is the investment expenditure, G represents government expenditure, or you can say government demand for goods and services, and X represents exports and M represents import. So the difference between export and import represents net exports. Now, as I have said that Lord J.M. Keynes, in order to explain how is the equilibrium level of national income determined in an economy, he assumes, for the sake of simplicity, that the government does not participate in the economic activities of the country. So what we find? The government expenditure is taken to be nil. And again he assumes that the country does not involve itself into foreign trade. That means the economy is a closed economy. So net exports will also be taken to be nil. So therefore we can say that aggregate demand represents the sum of consumption plus investment expenditure. Now here we have assumed that the investment is autonomous, denoted by I dash, which does not vary with the change in the level of income. And consumption, you know that as we have discussed previously, that consumption expenditure at zero level of income is represented by, say, OC. OC means this is the minimum expenditure which the households incur on consumption even at zero level of income. And as income increases, consumption also increases, and we assume that by a same proportion. So it will be a linear line sloping upward to the right. Now, what is the aggregate demand? It is the sum of consumption plus investment expenditure. So what we find? C plus I will give you aggregate demand. So the nature of the aggregate demand curve will depend upon the shape of the consumption curve, because the aggregate demand is affected by change in the consumption expenditure, because investment is taken to be autonomous, that is fixed. Now we are coming to the concept of aggregate supply. Aggregate supply refers to the aggregate output of the economy, or the national product, which gets distributed among the factor owners by way of factor income. Factor income means in the form of wages and salaries, rent, interest and profit. So यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या देख रहे हैं कि एग्रीगेट सप्लाई किसे कहते हैं? एक इकोनॉमी में जो एग्रीगेट आउटपुट प्रोड्यूस किया गया है, जो कि फैक्टर ओनर्स के बीच फैक्टर इनकम के रूप में डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड होता है, यानी वेजेस एंड सैलरीज, रेंट, इंटरेस्ट एंड प्रॉफिट, इसके एग्रीगेट को हम लोग एग्रीगेट सप्लाई कहते हैं. Now you must remember that aggregate supply curve is a 45-degree line sloping upward to the right from origin, as shown in the given diagram, which means that if we choose any point along this curve, aggregate income will be equal to aggregate expenditure. So from here we will now come to the explanation of how the equilibrium level of national income is determined by the equality between aggregate demand and aggregate supply.